Hi everyone, let's talk about Prisma Arena, which I just did a playthrough for, and you can find that in the description if you missed that. It's also on Kickstarter at the moment, and if you'd like to look at the campaign page, that's in the description as well. It's good, these descriptions, isn't it? And I was paid to make the playthrough video. I'll always tell you that. So, Prisma Arena, I'll admit that I am far from the most experienced person to be talking about the genre, but in terms of, a kind of family-friendly arena game, really this is doing an excellent job. I'll admit that I am kind of drawn in by gimmicks, not in a negative way, and when I saw all of the sheets of stickers and customization, it's at the start of the playthrough, and you get these reusable stickers that you can customize your characters with, and it does serve a purpose that as your characters level up, they'll get particular outfits that they wear to signify that level. But a lot of it is customization as well, and where you keep these stickers after you've started using them is in cardboard lockers that are really it's full of brilliant extra touches. And I think that hub games, I've not played all of them. I've played Holding On and Mega City Oceania, as well as Prisma Arena, and I think they really do take a lot of care with the the presentation of the games. They always look fantastic with the artwork, but it seems to always have that extra oomph in the presentation of the components. And I haven't seen anything like that in the game, but I'm just talking about cosmetics and stuff rather than the game itself. So it's and I feel like I'm reading from the description when I say it, but it is a really fast-paced, not chaotic game, but it's there's just constant action in it. So the theme is that we are trainees. We are in training with each other. We're sparring basically, so that we can get enough experience to become guardians to protect these great big legendary creatures, and we have smaller happy-go-lucky versions that are assisting us with that as well. In a two-player game, it will be you and two of these Mokons that have particular defined abilities, and you'll get two random ones each time. And then it's about it's a very simple system at its core, that you have three basic actions. You can either move, everyone's got the same move value, or you can do a strike, a melee attack, or blast, a ranged attack. And the damage is different depending on your character, but it's all printed on the cards, all right in front of you. And just that is a very simple system of moving around and hitting each other and stuff. But first of all, the combo cards come into it, and they're great for enhancing actions and messing around with actions. That it's not just you can do an extra strike or an extra movement. It's moving different amounts, and maybe this will make you move loads, but you're still grappled. So if you're if you're right next to an opponent, that's not going to be any good to you. Or move a little bit, but this one lets you move through everything, including obstacles. Only attack a little bit, but it lets you move away first, which is essential because you're trapped in a grapple or something. Or it will just let you strike at extra damage. All sorts of things that are great to have as, you can use those as your action instead of one of the standard ones. But where it kind of comes into its own, and the main kind of thrust of the gameplay, is chaining all of these combos. So you can do a move action, and then your move action has got a little cross underneath it. And so any of your combo cards that have got a cross on, and they're going to be attacking cards, they can be played under that in the same action. And you can keep going as long as the cards will let you chain these things. So you can do you can move and then do a melee attack, and then move away and do a ranged attack when you're in safety. And you have up to 4 combo cards. So if you really get, you get a good draw and you've saved the right ones for the right time, you can get a massive, massive action. And in the two-player game, you're just fighting against each other, and every time you knock another player out, and they're not really knocked out, they're bounced straight back. So even if they hadn't had an action this turn, they'll still get an action, but you get the points equal to their hit points, and you're trying to get 20 points. And in a game with 3 or 4 players, when a character got bounced, you would look at how much damage every player did, and they would get that many points. Obviously, in a 2-player game, only the other person is going to be attacking you, so you always get the same number of points in that. But so that is the basic thing. And then as you play through and you do the various things that will get you experience, you start to unlock Prisma cards. I covered those right at the end of the playthrough. And I think that's where, the kind of the visual, the character customization comes from all of those removable stickers and the lockers and stuff like that. But then the actual gameplay customization and the uniqueness of that comes from those Prisma cards, in that you can go to the middle of the board and you can draw an extra one, and you could put it in play straight away if you wanted to. Or if you didn't do that and you won the game, you get a card as well. And you will end up with this array of cards, and based on your level, there are level 1, 2, 3 cards, and you can be up to level 5. And you can use a total of those cards up to your level. So if you're level 3, you can use a level 3 card, or a 2 and a 1, or 3 1s, depending on what you want to achieve. And that's where you are going to start getting really unique heroes, because your hero's got a special ability. All heroes have the same special ability, and they hit for more, but essentially they are slightly tankier, slightly harder hitting versions of the Mocons. As you unlock these Prisma abilities and you start to get a feel for your character and how you would like to play, and you're changing up based on which of the Mocons are coming with you as well, that is going to really make a unique situation for your particular character and playstyle. The combo cards as well. So you draw 3 each of the types, strike, blast, and move. And so you might get luckier that you've drawn more cards that do more damage, and the other player has drawn more cards that are more about maneuvering and stuff. And that's not essentially, better than the other. They are perfect in different situations. But even if you did feel that the other player got a better handle on the cards, you discard your cards to the other player's discard pile. And in a game with 3 or 4 players, I believe it's 2 players to the left. I've only played it 2 players. But you are passing your discard pile to another player, so they are getting the use of your cards. So even if you did feel that the other player got better cards, you're getting those cards as they use them. And there is this cycle that you are only getting 2 of these combo cards every turn. So you might get an amazing turn where you get so much done and you feel so powerful, and you've got these, the part of the game is being fast paced, but part of it is about having these crazy combos going off. And you could do this. You could do an action and then chain 4 combo cards if you've got lucky, or planned it out really well. But then that's it. You're only going to draw 2 more combo cards, and maybe your opponents have been storing theirs up still, and now you're in a vulnerable position just in the middle of nowhere because you've taken the people out that you went over there to get. So there is a lot of kind of balancing out of this, that you can have amazingly powerful actions, but then you're probably going to have a breather for a couple of turns. You might have great cards, but as soon as you've used them, they're going over to someone else, and you're going to have to adapt to the other cards that you've been drawing instead. Yeah, there's so many good systems in this, but so I would put this at the front, but I think people that might not watch me all the time wouldn't be interested in this. But people that watch me regularly will know that Rach and I don't play games where we're attacking each other at all. We are Care Bears and just don't like that. And so yeah, Prisma Arena is kind of an anomaly that we at first just went, yep, don't play attacking games, sorry about that. And then as we got to look at it, and it's kind of stuck with me and showed it to Rach, we kind of thought that maybe this is going to be one that's is going to be okay for us, because the theme wise, we're in training, we're not really fighting against each other, we're not trying to kill each other or destroy what we are working towards, and in the gameplay wise, you are just getting points for killing someone. I did play an online version of Adrenaline, and that's similar in that you're killing the other players in an arena shooter kind of situation. You are essentially just scoring points. You're essentially scoring majorities in that for having dealt the most damage to a player. And similarly in this, being knocked out, losing all of your health in this isn't as much of a bad thing, because you bounce straight back, and if you haven't had a turn this round, you go straight back in there, and you're probably not going to be in as great a situation. You've had to go to the start, unless you've got a particular Prisma ability in there. But in general, and that'll partly be down to it being a more of an all ages game. That's maybe you don't want this vicious attacking, and maybe you just want it to be a friendlier game as well. But yeah, that does massively soften all of the things that we just don't really enjoy in games. I'll say that, yeah, Rach played through this and had absolutely no problem with the combat in it at all, and she is kind of a little bit more open to it. I'll say that I was kind of I did enjoy it throughout the end. I was definitely frosty towards it as I started, even though I thought that it would appeal just from the rulebook as we started and we were attacking each other and stuff. So I had that kind of trepidation and I don't want to do this. But as we kind of played through the lessons, I got quite into it, and maybe it was the fact that my guy was called Ed 209 and was dressed up as a cat-eared robot, but I think that it was those changes in mechanisms as well that I still wouldn't, I wouldn't say that this is, like, I can't think of the word for it now. This hasn't been some evangelical thing where suddenly I'm converted, but something that I didn't think that I would really be saying. Yeah, I enjoyed my time in a arena combat game. The other thing is how well the rulebook is structured. It's structured into all of these small lessons to teach you the game from scratch. So if you feel you're comfortable, you could jump ahead some lessons if you really feel that you've grasped the mechanisms. But if you are playing with newer people and particularly younger people, you can go through these lessons and it just gradually teaches you things that, okay, we're just going to be moving. Just move your characters around. Okay, now we're going to be doing the other actions. Now we're going to look at our special abilities. Now we're going to look at combo cards and chaining these combo cards. And then on and on to earning experience, leveling up, getting the Prisma cards. And there's a variant to play it in teams as well. I think that is another part of adding to the artwork and the presentation and stuff. It's fantastic at teaching everyone the game as well, that you can go through that gradual staggered approach, or you could just jump in and flick through it if you wanted to do that as well. But hey, all of this rambling is nothing compared to the playthrough, is it? Hopefully the playthrough will give you the best idea of whether or not Prisma Arena is for you. And the campaign page is in the description. I've said that already, haven't I? I'm going to go and have a lie down. Bye, everyone.